what really happened beneath Buckingham Palace when Britain burned from the sky. We often think of World War II through images of defiance in the streets and dogfights in the air, but there's another story, one that unfolded in silence and darkness, deep beneath the ground. During the dark winters of the Blitz, while German bombers turned London to ash, an invisible network of tunnels, war rooms, and hidden command centers thrummed with life. It was here, under marble corridors and royal gardens, that the monarchy prepared for the unthinkable invasion, collapse, or even extinction. This isn't a legend. It's a story of logistics, of a secret plan forged to preserve Britain's crown, its government, and its will to fight. To this day, many of these tunnels remain sealed, their maps marked top secret. What lay beneath the palaces wasn't luxury, but a machine built for pure survival. When the war began in 1939, Londoners dug shelters in their gardens. But for the royal family, the stakes were national. Buckingham Palace stood right in the heart of a bombing grid, so engineers from the Office of Works descended into its sub-basement. They didn't just dig a cellar, they carved out reinforced chambers, pouring concrete walls thick enough to stop shrapnel. They installed air filtration systems, secure telephone lines, and a radio room linked directly to Whitehall. A concealed stairway was built, allowing the King and Queen to retreat below ground in seconds. King George's message to his staff was clear: the palace must share the danger of our people. And it did. The building was struck by 9 bombs, shattering glass and blowing ceilings open. Yet, each time, the royal family stayed. Their underground refuge became both a fortress and a powerful symbol, the unseen heart of Britain's defiance. But the palace was only one piece of a much larger puzzle. Beneath Westminster and St. James's Park, tunnels originally built for the old post office railway were quietly repurposed by military engineers. These corridors connected government ministries, the Admiralty, and the War Cabinet in a web of secret passages, known simply as the Deep Shelter. Within this labyrinth, electricians wired special red telephones that could reach the chiefs of staff and RAF command. It was said that if London fell, the wires underground would still hum with orders. During raids, couriers in tin helmets sprinted through these tunnels with envelopes marked most immediate. Few civilians above ever knew they existed. The secrecy deepened at Down Street Station, an abandoned stop between Hyde Park Corner and Green Park. Sealed off to the public, it became the underground headquarters of the Railway Executive Committee, the nerve center for keeping Britain's trains running under fire. But hidden behind a camouflaged door was a chamber reserved for Winston Churchill. He sometimes slept here, the rumble of tube trains above masking his movements. From this bunker, coded messages were sent to Buckingham Palace. One simple phrase, "Lions secure," was the signal that the king was safe. Meanwhile, Windsor Castle was transformed. Beneath its ancient medieval halls, brick vaults were reinforced with heavy blast doors. The dungeons, once home to prisoners, were now used to store priceless state papers evacuated from London. The young princesses, Elizabeth and Margaret, were moved there under heavy guard. Below the famous Round Tower, a private shelter housed the royal radio transmitter, its existence classified for decades. Every night, its signal crackled through the static, ensuring the monarchy's voice would not fall silent, even if the capital did. Other, even more remote sanctuaries were prepared. Deep in the countryside near Bath, engineers burrowed into a vast limestone quarry. This site, later known as the Burlington Bunker, was officially for the government, but sections were discreetly designated royal residency. Furniture from the palace was catalogued and boxed, ready to be moved by train under the cover of darkness. An incredibly detailed plan, Operation Candid, outlined the exact route the royal family would take if an invasion came, from Buckingham Palace to Windsor, and if necessary, onward to western refuges through secret railway lines. None of these routes were public. Even the train drivers were sworn to silence. Like in London, everyday life continued above a kingdom of secrecy. Pedestrians had no idea that beneath their feet lay bomb-proof vaults filled not just with people, but with gold reserves and the entire communications hub of the government. Under the Treasury and the Foreign Office, royal engineers installed pneumatic tubes that could fire messages between departments faster than any courier on a bicycle. The Blitz brought new urgency. When Buckingham Palace took a direct hit in September 1940, dust and smoke filled the corridors. The king and queen, completely unharmed, refused to leave. Below ground, their staff sealed the blast doors and switched to emergency lighting. In the shelter, maps showed evacuation routes through tunnels leading toward Green Park, ready in case the palace collapsed. They were never used, but they were always ready. But this underground world wasn't just about concrete and steel. It was about information. The Royal Cipher Office, operating under the harmless-sounding name Postal Section B, processed thousands of confidential messages between the king and the intelligence services, MI5 and MI6. Through this hidden link, the monarchy stayed aware of secret operations that were vital to national morale. Then came the fear of chemical attacks. Gas-tight doors were added to the shelters. Engineers installed new water pumps, oxygen cylinders, and even a periscope to check for damage on the surface. Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, called it our burrow. During raids, she would stand at the entrance, refusing to go down until all of her staff were safely inside. When a reporter later asked why she stayed in London, she gave her famous answer: "The children will not go without me, and I will not go without the king." That powerful solidarity turned a private shelter into a public symbol of courage. By 1942, the network beneath London was a living organism. Tunnels stretched from Horse Guards Parade to the Mall. Bicycles and electric carts ferried messages through the dark. Above ground, the blackout hid the city's fear. Below, it hid its vital movements. After the war, most of these entrances were sealed, their blast doors welded shut and painted over, erased from public view. Yet, fragments of this secret world remain. In the palace basement, a corridor still bears wartime graffiti, the initials of guards, the date September 40, and a chalk arrow pointing to safety. In Windsor's subvault, you can still find rusted signs for Radio Room A. The Down Street bunker, once forgotten, now hosts museum tours. Visitors can see the narrow bed where Churchill slept and the red emergency phone labeled Buck Pal, not realizing that this single line once tied the fate of a government to the resilience of its crown. The Royal Underground never fired a shot, but it embodied the unity of a nation under siege. Beneath the grandeur and ceremony, there was concrete, steel, and unwavering discipline. In those sealed rooms, rank and title dissolved. The survival of the monarchy owed less to privilege than to preparation. Today, as researchers piece together old blueprints and forgotten histories, a picture emerges of a subterranean kingdom that mirrored the one above, a realm of secret corridors instead of corridors of power, a world of quiet duty instead of public display. It's a powerful reminder that in Britain's darkest hour, the crown didn't retreat into myth, but into the machinery of modern survival. Beneath the floors where tourists now walk, those chambers still exist, silent but intact. A testament to the fact that history is sometimes written not in the light of day, but in the hum of wires, deep below the ground. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this hidden history as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the shadows. See you next time.